everybody? Welcome to Just My Two Cents, and today we are quarantining, y'all. We're quarantining. We're in isolation with our family, our kids, our pets, our roaches. I don't have them, but you might. Good luck to you trying to get rid of them during this quarantine. Like, we're here at our houses, really trying to enjoy ourselves. And I think this is so cool because now we get to enjoy our house that we pay for so much, but spend only like 5 hours, because the other hours we're traveling to work, we're at work, we're traveling from work, going to restaurants, other people's houses, Walmart, this store, that store. Then we finally come back home at night, and we get up next morning and do it all over again. So I get to enjoy my house. You get to enjoy your house, wherever you might be. So this is what we're doing. We're quarantining. So with quarantining, this means that the stuff that we got coming up for the next couple of months, we're going to have to go with a plan B. Now, everybody, please take this moment to look at your calendars and notice that we're at the beginning of May. The beginning of May starts all the celebrations and all the holidays for the summer months. I know May is not a summer month, but it is considered a summer month in the Black household. Therefore, we need to look and see all the celebrations and holidays that we have coming up and figure out how we're going to have a plan B and stick with it, because plan A is out of the window, and I'm not going with plan A because I ain't trying to get any of it. So with that being said, let's talk about some new normals. And one of the new normals that everybody talks about is work. And so we already know about the work new normals and stuff like that. So let's talk about this one, church. The new normal of church. I was supposed to do this video yesterday, which was Sunday, in honor of me missing church and just some of my church experiences and stuff like that. So I'm going to do it today. Because, I do miss church. I do miss my church family. And just, the fellowship and stuff that we have when we get together and things of that nature. So, I do miss that. And so, in honor of that, I want to tell you all about a time that I went to church with my ex-boyfriend. And, we're going to go ahead and just start it right here. So, this is it. So, he invited me to go to church with him. And so, as a prereq, just for anybody who is just interested, a prereq with me is that you have to have a relationship with the Lord. Like, I have one that's a part of my beliefs, and I feel like in order for us to be evenly yoked, then you definitely have to have one too. Even if you working on it and trying to grow it and stuff, we can work with that. But for you just not to have one at all, it's like, it's gonna be touch and go. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to the story. So, both of us had a relationship. He's involved in his church. I'm involved in my church. Cool. He invited me to come to his church. At first, I was really apprehensive because of the thing that we're from two different denominations. And I really wasn't sure exactly how his denomination, how they did church. And anybody who go to church, you kind of understand what I mean about how people do church. And so I was like, I don't know. But then I'm like, well, if we all believe in the same thing, pretty much have the same doctrines and stuff like that, then, let me go. They have pretty much the same beliefs and foundation and stuff like that. Let me go just support him and just show him that, because we have been dating for almost a year and a half at this point or whatever. And I'm like, okay, let me go, because if we do make it to that point, it would probably be a time where we're going to have to try to talk about this on a more, serious level. So let's just see, what's going on. This is what I'm thinking in my mind. So I tell him, okay, cool. I'll go to your church. And we go. Sunday school was cool. Everybody was nice, welcoming. I'm like, okay, yeah. Then after Sunday school, we get to the little part where they're serving breakfast. It's like a little, I'm not going to say a drive-through, but it's like a walk-through where they tell you what they have for breakfast. You tell them what you want. They ask you what kind of juice or coffee, whatever. You tell them. Then you go inside the fellowship hall or the dining space, and then you sit there, eat your breakfast and stuff. And then from there, you go into the church part. So I'm like, this is really nice. Especially what took me to just say this is really nice like I said, Sunday school was pretty good, but the part where they have breakfast and the opportunity for people to just fellowship and eat together before church, which is great to me, because I know I don't get up for breakfast for Sunday school, for church, for work, for anything else. I don't really get up for breakfast. You know, I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I get up in just enough time to get to where I need to within probably a minute or two before something starts. And I know that sounds awful, you know. We working through it, time management, planners, all that stuff. But anyway, so yeah, so I'm like, this is really cool. This is really nice. So from there, he's like, okay, let's go into the church part. I'm like, okay, cool. So we go into the church part, and we see all the pews and stuff. It's a pretty big church. It's not like a mega church, but it's, you know, a pretty big church. And so I'm like, wait, what do you want me to? Well, I'm not gonna say pretty. It's like a standard size church for the most part. It's not a small country church, but it's like, you know, a good size church. So I'm like, what do you want? You know, what do you want to sit? Then he was like, well, they're probably gonna ask me to sit with X, Y, and Z. I'm not gonna give too many details or whatever, but they probably asked me to sit X, Y, and Z. So you can sit right here. And I'm like, I don't want to sit at the back. I'm like, I'll sit at the back of my own church, which I don't. I sit at the front. So he's like, you can sit right here. I'm like, no, I want to sit right here, which was, and I'm showing my hands, but y'all can't see my hands. So he was like, you can sit to the middle, to the back. I'm like, I don't sit at the middle or the back. I want to sit at the front. And he was like, I'm telling you to sit either right here, or which is in the middle, or you might want to move a little bit back. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Then he was like, where do you want to sit? So I walked my happy self up to the front. I walk all the way up to the front. I count 1, 2, 3 pews back from the front and from the altar area. So it's like the altar is 1 pew, 2 pew, 3 pew. I'm like, I want to sit right here. He like, he was just standing there shaking his head. He was like, I don't know if you want to sit right here. I'm like, I want to sit right here. He was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, are you sure? And I was like, is there an issue? Is this like a assigned seat or something? He was like, no, it's not an assigned seat, but are you sure you want to sit right here? And I said, yeah, I want to sit right here. And he was like, okay, you can sit right here, but, you know, you might want to just sit in the middle, or why don't you sit maybe 2 or 3 pews back on the 5th row? I'm like, no, I want to sit on this 3rd row. So I've explained this for a while now, so you can kind of get my gist. Anyway, so I'm thinking to myself, he don't want me to sit right here for a reason. And I was like, well, since I'm sitting on the aisle part, so the way the church is set up, it's like the middle aisle, and then it's like pews on your right and pews on your left. And then the side rows they're like the secondary rows. They're not really popular. I ain't gonna say popular, but they're like the secondary rows. The main row is the middle aisle. That's where people can come and go freely and stuff like that. The side parts were just kind of where people can come and go and not be a disturbance during the service and so forth. So I'm like, I'm gonna sit over here on this 3rd row near the window near the side aisle. So that way, I ain't got to be in nobody way and stuff like that. And if people want to come and go from the middle in the main aisle, which is the main aisle, I don't really have to be all in people's way. So I'm thinking to myself, that's probably why he don't want me to sit on this 3rd pew near the middle, because people might be coming and going. So if I sit over here on this 3rd pew by the side aisle where people probably won't be coming and going, then I'll be fine. I'll be fine and everything will be fine. No. And I usually don't give him a lot of credit for stuff, but I'm going to give him credit on this video because he was right. I didn't want to sit right there because in hindsight, I was like, if I probably sat a couple pews back, a lot of stuff that I encountered sitting right there, I probably wouldn't have to have gone through because I would have been just back there by myself. And what I mean by that is, so I'm sitting on the pew, and we're there early. You know, he go for Sunday school and stuff, and you know people don't be coming for Sunday school and stuff. So you know, to each his own. You know, no judgment or whatever. So people start to come in for worship. They start trickling in, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I done did a good deed because I'm sitting on this side area by the window, by this side aisle. Everybody coming in through this main aisle, which is the middle aisle. yes, let's do this. People going and filling in the pews and stuff like that. But one thing I'm starting to notice is that people are filling in only the front pews. A lot of people, like at the back, to that middle to the back area, a lot of people weren't really trying to mess with that area. So I'm sitting here like, okay, something's going on. Because everybody is trying to pack in these first couple of pews. And so the pew I'm sitting on, it gets full. It gets full, and I'm sitting here like, okay, the pew is starting to get full. So it gets full to the point to where I'm still able to have some space for myself and some space for my purse, because I don't like to put my purse on the ground, So it's full to that point. And then next thing I know, this lady comes up. She's like, hey, can I sit right there? Is anybody sitting right there? I'm like, no, come on. So we had room just for one other person, and that was that lady. Now at this point, it's tight, but it's not tight to the point to where we can't breathe and stuff like that. But it's tight to the point to where can't nobody else get on this row. Then all of a sudden, I look over my right shoulder, which is by the window, by the side aisle, and I see this lady say, excuse me, is somebody sitting right here? I look over at her, and I'm like, no. And then she's like, do you mind if I sit next to you? I'm like, no. But then I look at her, and I look at the amount of space that there is. So I look at her, she look at me, she like, I'm gonna sit right here. And I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I want to sit right here. And I'm like, okay. And then I look at her, then I look at the space in the seat. Then I look back at her, and I look back at the space in the seat. Then I glance to the back. And I'm like, it's really nobody in the back, and it's really nobody in the middle. I'm not understanding why she can't sit in the middle or the back. It was just like a little bit of people like trickle back and forth and stuff. But I'm sitting here like, why? Why you just don't go to the back? Why you just can't sit in the middle? Like, it ain't no more space. And so I look back up, and she give me like this little smile, and I'm like, okay. And so I don't move, because I'm gonna tell you this: when I sit on the edge, I sit on the edge. If you come late, you got to go in, because I don't give up that seat. So I turn and let her in. The lady sitting next to me looking at me like, why you let her in? I'm like, what you want me to do? She done stood. We done had a whole conversation about her wanting to sit right here. So she sit down. At this point, we thigh to thigh, arm to arm. We in there like some sardines on that pew. And I'm sitting here like, you got to be kidding me, man. Come on. Like, before, it was tight, but it was comfortable tight. Now, it's like, we tight, and somebody on this row gonna have to get up. And I feel like it need to be that last person who came on the row. So now she's sitting up, and everybody, they get up, they want to praise and worship and all, that good stuff. And I'm like, yes. And to me, I ain't trying to be rude when I say this, but it's more room standing up, praising and worshiping than it was sitting down. Because when you were sitting down, I'm telling you what, it was tight. It was tight in there. So the thing was, even though it was tight, I think she kind of realized it was tight when she got to do her praise and worship, and she couldn't do it like she wanted to do it. Not only could she not do it like she wanted to do it, but other people really couldn't do it like they wanted to do it either. So she had to step out across me into the aisle. When she did that, I tell you what, it was a relief. And then, she came back, she would sit down, and then I think when she sat down that time, that's when it became apparent to her that, like, hey, I might need to move somewhere else. So then she went back out again, did her praise and worship and stuff. And I think she saw it was some space on the row behind us or the row behind them. And then she said, hey, can you pass me my purse? I said, yeah, of course. And then she went back there in either the row behind me or the row behind them and sat down. And I'm like, yo, you could have did that from the beginning instead of us all being uncomfortable and stuff like that. But nah, she wanted to sit on the row with us. And then when I say it was packed on that row, and I'm like, what is going on? So I asked, you know, the person I'm talking to at the time, I'm asking him like, yo, you know, is this normal? And he was like, yeah, this is normal. In my church, we don't like sitting at the back. And he was like, especially, you know, like the middle age to the older people, they don't like sitting at the back. They like to sit up front because, you know, or whatever. And I'm like, so you ain't gonna tell me this? And he's like, well, I tried to tell you to sit at the back. But I'm like, yo, really? Really? Like, you definitely could have told me, like, hey, you might want to sit back here because of X, Y, and Z. Because, you know, if you don't tell me why I'm not doing something or why I can't do something, I'm going to do it, right? So, yeah. So that's pretty much it about it. Just, I guess, this one little memory of when we were, quote unquote, in a normal status where I was able to just, I guess, just go and, you know, just be packed in like a sardine on the pew. Then the lady realized that, hey, ain't enough room for me on this pew. Which she knew that when she sat down, because when she sat down, you know when somebody sit down and they sitting on your leg and they probably sitting on the other person's leg and they know that they sitting on your leg but they don't want to move, that's how she knew it wasn't enough room. That's how she knew. But anyway, until next time, y'all stay quarantining and like, share, subscribe, drop down in the comments below. Peace.